We're going to be looking at 2-digit by 2-digit multiplication today, but using some of the other methods that we've been learning about for all the other multiplication problems we've done. So we've done the place value section model for 2-digit by 1-digit and 3-digit by 1-digit. Now we're going to look at it when we do a 2-digit by 2-digit. Okay, so I'm going to pick the problem 26 times 78. So we're looking at 26 times 78, and the place value sections method uses that beginning area model. So remember, when I have 2-digit by 2-digit, when I draw out my draw out my area model, I have to have 4 boxes, because this is 2-digit and this is 2-digit. So I make my 4 boxes, and then I decompose my numbers. Well, I know 26 is 20 plus 6, and I know that 78 is 70 plus 8. And then I'm going to put those along the vertical and the horizontal. So 20 plus 6 will go on the horizontal, and my vertical will be my 70 plus 8. Remember, the plus signs are imaginary here. Place value sections method says that for each box I'm going to write in the actual problem that I'm doing. For example, in this first box we have 70 and 20. So I'm going to write 70 times 20 equals, and I write the answer to that. Well, I know 7 times 2 is 14, and I have 2 zeros, so I'm going to add those place values on. In this box, I have 70 times 6. I write that problem equals, I know 7 times 6 is 42, and I have 1 place value to add back on. In this column, I have 20 times 8, so I'm going to write 20 times 8 equals, I know 2 times 8 is 16, add my place value back on, I get 160. And in my last box, I have 8 times 6, which is 48. Remember, my last step is to take these numbers and add them all together. So I have 1400, I have 420, 160, and 48. And I like to put the biggest on top and then line them up from there. So I know that 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 8 is 8. We have 6 and 4 make 10, plus 2 more is 12. We have 4 and 4 is 8, 9, 10, and 1 plus 1 is 2. Add my comma, and my answer for 26 times 78 is 2028. Okay, so remember, that's the place value sections. The difference from the area model is that I'm actually going to write my equations in the boxes. For expanded notation, I'm going to do the same thing. Make my area model. This is for expanded notation. I'm going to use the same problem, 26 times 78, so that we can see the difference between each problem. So I draw my area model. I'm going to draw it a little bit smaller because I don't really write anything in this box. 4 squares, decomposing my numbers, 20 and 6, and 70 and 8. This time around, though, remember, I write my problem over to the side. So I have 67 times 40, no, I'm sorry, I'm writing the totally wrong number. I want to put 26 times 78. Well, 26 decomposed is 20 plus 6. And then we have 78, which is 70 plus 8. So underneath here, I'm going to multiply my first two, my 10s. 70 times 20 equals 1,400. Now I'm going to multiply my 10 versus my 1s. So I'm going to do 20 times 8 equals 160. I also need to do my 70 times 6, which gives me my 420. And then I need to do my 8 times 6, which gives me my 48. Again, when I add all these numbers down, I'm going to get an 8, 12, carry my 1, I get a 10, carry my 1, and I have 2. And my answer is 2028. So it's the same idea except with the expanded form. And I forgot to write my steps down here. This was 70 times 6, and this was 8 times 6. Notice how I never multiply 70 times 8. I always multiply it cross, or straight down, straight down. I never multiplied them side by side, because those are part of the same number. Okay, that's expanded notation. For algebraic notation, remember we used the distributive property. So for algebraic notation, again, I'm still using 26 times 78. Okay. For algebraic notation, I'm going to be doing 20 plus 6 in parentheses times 70 plus 8. And remember, I do 20 times 6 and 20 times 8. And then I do 6 times 70 and 6 times 8. And I just write those steps. So 20 times 70. I'm doing kind of the shortened version. I'm not drawing my area model for this one, because once I understand the principle, I don't necessarily need to draw the area model. So I did 20 times 70 and 20 times 8. And then I did 6 times 70. I like to put the bigger number first. And 6 times 8. When I come up with those answers, I get 1,400, I get 160, 420, and 48. Again, when I add, I get my 8, my 12, my 10, and my 2. So my answer is 2028. If you open up your SOB book to page 71, you will see these methods again. We have the place value sections method, the expanded notation method, and the algebraic notation method. And you'll notice what's alike about all the three methods. Well, they all use the area model, was one thing that they've all used. And it almost looks like they have taken the place value sections model and they have put it inside each one of these, even though that's not necessary. You could achieve the same ending without doing this and just doing the work over here. Okay. So if you need to come back and look, you can always come back to page 71 and look at these three models, or you can look in your journals. Okay. Remember, there's two other methods to do, and on the back of page 71 are other ways to record multiplication. This is using that partial products. So again, I'm doing the same thing I did in the place value section or the expanded notation. I'm just showing my equations out to the side, and there's no area model. Okay? And then I'm showing my new groups like we do for addition. The second model, without an area model, is that shortcut method. You can see step by step how they have multiplied a 2-digit by 2-digit. The confusing part is when I get another number on top of it, which number do I use? So you'll notice that they've done 7 times 3, which is 21. Then they're going to do 6 times 3, which is 18, but you have to add that 2, which gives me 20. However, on the next one, remember I'm doing 40 times 7. Okay, and I know that that's 280, but I'm going to put the 8 in the 10 spot, and I carry that 2 again. This time I'm going to do 6 times 4, which is 24, and add 2 more, which gives me 268. And then I would add them all together, just like I do for the other ones. This one's showing those new groups above, which really does help see them. If you try to do the new groups below, be very careful where you put your numbers so that you do not mix them up. When you're getting into multiplication 2-digit by 2-digit or 3-digit by 2-digit, I highly recommend not using shortcut method, as it can be very confusing with all the numbers that you have to put up on top when you are dealing with place value.